Grand Rising, Supreme Rising, my beautiful neuromelanated family. My name is Layla Awake for those of you that may be new to my channel. And my channel is all about the empowerment of neuromelanated beings. It's all about us guys. I may tap into some other areas every now and then, but basically this channel is about the empowerment of our people with all of the things that we struggle with on a daily basis, actually. I am empowered and I am divinely ordered to be a part of those that are here to help elevate us and to help bring us to a place of serene and peace where we can continue to thrive on this planet. And with all of the help that is here now to help us achieve that, I am also here to do my part for my beautiful family, for you. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And again, I am so glad that you are here, my beautiful family. I wanted to come on today and take a few minutes. And what I wanted to talk about in this now moment, I wanted to talk about surviving growing up without a mom. That is a topic that I believe needs more exposure, more discussion, more assistance. I think is needed for those that are out there that are going through and having that experience. I myself actually was a motherless child. At this tender age of 13, I lost my mom. And being the eldest of 6, and it was a very, very, very tough time. Very tough time. And but I made it through. I'm here today. I'm sitting right here and I'm doing great. I am doing absolutely amazing. And it wasn't easy to get here. It really wasn't. It was actually pretty darn tough. Really tough. But I made it through, and I'm here to tell you guys and those of you who are actually walking in my shoes, previous shoes, that you can make it too. You can do it. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I want to just give you some tips, maybe, in between share a little bit of my experience, but at the same time, give you some tips on how you can make it through. And know that not having a mother as a child is very, very difficult. And I just say by nature, it's difficult, because having parents is very intricate in your upbringing. And it's in order for you to have a chance to have good parents, I want to say it as well. I want to add that in there, but it's very important if we do have access to our mom and our dad, and especially if they're healthy parents. It can really, really, really give us a much better chance at a great future, a beautiful future. Having nurturing parents, and the mother is the nurturer. And not saying that she's going to come in perfect order, because no one is perfect. And when we do come as mothers, we come with what we have, all that we have. So nurturing may look different, in different mothers, but nurturing is nurturing, and we all do it our own way. But not having a mother and growing up as a little girl, and even I've not experienced it as a boy, but just not having a mother. I watched my brothers go through so many trials and tribulations because they didn't have a mother. So I can say it would be difficult for us all. But it was quite difficult for me. But I want to tell you, I'm going to share this little tidbit on studies and what studies show that mothers are unique in providing care during childhood in many, many, many ways. Um, and to a degree, they cannot be replaced. Mothers cannot be replaced. A good mother, a mother that's being the way a mother should be in a basic, generalized way, cannot be replaced. And I can tell you how I know that because I tried for a number of years to replace my mother, and it never happened. You tend to, when you grow up without a mom, especially as a little girl, you tend to be on this crusade of always searching for her in others. And so it can be very difficult. And I believe it's quite impossible to just actually replace your mom. Now, you can get mother figures, of course, in society. There are other, potential women that's in your life that, can come in and help. But I didn't have that experience. I had, for the most part, I did have one aunt that was, she was a beautiful soul for the time that she was here to help my sisters and brothers and myself. But that was just about it. My mother had a first cousin that she would come in ever so often and kind of give us a hand. But for the most part, I raised myself. And I aided in raising all 5 of my siblings. I played that part in a huge way, guys. An amazing way. Now I realize I didn't know that it was such amazing while it was happening, but looking back, I played a huge part in getting them and rearing them to where they can go out on their own and live and be successful, have a chance to be successful. But some of the things that I want to share, if I am advising and giving tidbits to you guys out there that are in need of the information, and you're out there and you don't have a mother and you're struggling, I'm going to say always start by building your self-esteem and learning to love yourself. Love you and love your life. It doesn't matter what because in your experience, you're gonna see things, you're gonna hear things, and one thing I'm gonna tell you guys is, when you're out here and you're trying to survive without a mom, the world doesn't show you any mercy. That's a fact. And actually, the things that you shouldn't be experiencing, that you wouldn't normally experience until you're an adult, will come at you early. Because what I found growing up without my mom is that it's almost like the world. It's like the world being a monster, and it knows that you're without that covering. And so it comes at you early. Those trials will come at you because it knows that there's no protection there. And my dad, bless his soul, he evolved over the years, but I really didn't have a daddy figure either, not much of one. And he did make peace with all of us, as we got older. He did come and make peace with us with that. But so I was kind of like out there on my own, which made it even more difficult because, my daddy wasn't really present either in my life. And but I would say we have to learn to build our self-esteem, learn to, in spite of all that, that the world is going to teach you and show you and manipulate you into believing about yourself, we have to find a way to rise above it and actually, realize that we are all we need. So we need to build our self-esteem and learn to love ourselves and love our life, accept us for who we are. And love can sometimes come to you And like I say, you may not, and you won't be able to replace your mom, um, you know, but many of you may have a grandmother or a beautiful aunt, a friend's mother, a neighbor, a teacher. So sometimes love would come to you in the form of others that can be positive in your experience. You must study yourself and get to know who you are. You must know what you are by studying your lineage and your history. All those things that a mother would teach you normally in a normal state, you have to learn to teach yourself. You have to find ways to get the information, get the knowledge. And like I said, for myself, I had that one aunt, and then my mother had a cousin, and they helped. My aunt helped tremendously. Actually, when we lost her, it was like losing a mother all over again. So I was very appreciative of all that she was able to do. But still, it's nothing like having your own mother. And so you have to learn how to get those things that are very important in your life as you grow. Find other ways to get those things that you need. I say look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, I got this. I used to have to do it on a daily basis as a little teenager. Yeah, I used to tell myself I can do this. And the sad but slash beautiful, I say sad and beautiful because it's like a flip side to it. But 2 weeks before I lost my mom, she left me some instructions, and at the time I didn't understand the conversation. And it wasn't until the day of her funeral, when I got back home, I was sitting in the bed, the conversation came back to me, and I began to connect the dots. And my mother had a premonition of her death, and I just really didn't understand that conversation until afterwards. And then the light came on, and I'm like, oh my God, she was passing the torch. She was preparing me. I'm like, oh my God. And it was huge, guys. But I learned to look in the mirror on a daily basis and tell myself, you got this. I got this. I decided that I had what it took to survive. And I always advise that you decide too that you will never ever lower your standards or your morals to survive. I was able, guys, to make it through all the trials and tribulations. And I mean I went through some hard times, guys, trying to grow up. But I never jeopardized my morals. I never jeopardized anything. I never did anything that took away from me being a young lady. I was strong enough, and I was able to rise above. I had a choice to make. I had a decision, and it could have went either one way or the other. I could have turned out to be, which I used to hear that a lot of the people in the community, and it's so sad how people can see you struggling as motherless children, and they won't even help. As a matter of fact, they sometimes make it even harder, and that's what happened to me and my siblings in the community where I grew up. But I was able to rise up above all of that, and all that they would say about us. Me and my sisters were going to have house full of kids, and all my brothers were going to be in prison. And people can be so savage, guys, and they talk that was the kind of talk that I would hear. And blissfully, we actually beat the odds on that. It was beautiful. We survived. Yeah, much better than people said we would. But understand that there is a higher power that will be working with you. Also, look inside of yourself. Tap in, and you have to really research. And the key to knowing to tap in is finding out who you really are, and researching your history, your lineage, your history of being neuromelanated. And once you know who you are, then everything else will just line up. Now, I didn't get the opportunity, or I didn't take the opportunity. It was so much on my plate. So I didn't learn early on who I really was and how powerful I really am. I just really realized that in the last few years. But that is something that I would tell you guys. I wasn't privy to that information, but I can tell you, if you're in my shoes, or in the shoes that I was in, it's that's a good thing to do, is to research your lineage, research your history, and get to know you as a neuromelanated being, woman or man. Be determined to be a good person in spite of all that you expect to face in a normal capacity that you wouldn't have to. Still be determined to be a good person. You know, um, I've always heard, when you can't figure it out, just keep doing what's right. If you're in between, should I do this? What is right? Just, and make sure it's positive, and make sure it's good. Build strength. Build strength for those times when you're disregarded by those who know you are without a mom and you are not protected. Like I said, the world doesn't it shows no mercy when you are a motherless child. It doesn't care. As a matter of fact, it can be much more harsh knowing that you're not protected by a mother. So you have to build your strength. You have to come into something that's powerful enough to keep you afloat. And what I learned in later years, I must have been in my early 20s, when I really realized that my mother was always with me in spirit. And once I realized that, that was more strength for me. But you have to build strength. You have to know how to come into, the powers that is within you. And your mother will always, her spirit will always be there. And you have to know that. You have to understand and know and remember that. Realize you have two choices, but take the one that will liberate you. Again, as above, so below. You have the choice to not beat the odds and become what the community said that we were going to turn out to be, or you can take the high road and make the choice that's going to liberate you into becoming still that beautiful soul that you can still be, even though you grew up without your mom. You can do it. And I know you can do it because I did it, guys. I did it, guys, with all that I went through. And it was so much, family, I tell you. It never changed the beautiful heart that I have inside of me. It never stopped me from becoming the beautiful soul that I was destined to be. With all of those harsh trials, I still have a good heart. I still am a good person. I still show love, and give love, and all of that. And I have seen in so many instances where it ended up being the opposite with other people, other beings. But for myself, I survived, and I am still in one piece in my right mind, and and still can be the giving person that I was created to be. So realize you have two choices, but take the one that will liberate you. Always. Value those adult women that offer a motherly love to you. The one thing I can say, guys, I can say, take off my eyes, wholeheartedly. When you growing up without your mom, you never forget who was there. You just never forget those that were there. And you never forget those that should have been there, that wasn't there, that should have been there. And some of us, my grandmother, I had a grandmother, yes, I did. My mother's mother was alive on this planet. And my mother had two sisters. She actually had two sisters, and she had a couple of brothers. But unfortunately, for some apparent reason, we really never got help from them. It just didn't happen. If the truth be told, it just didn't. Um, but it's okay. We still made it. So my siblings had an older sibling that was strong enough to be there and help, get them to a place of adulthood. I didn't have that opportunity, but there were women here and there that that did little things that I never forgot. So when you are going through these kinds of times growing up without your mom, anybody that handed you a piece of bread, anybody that gave you a smile, um, a ride home, anything, you don't forget those people. And there were a couple of people um, that I could name in my neighborhood that, did some things that I never forgot. Um, and I will never forget them. Um, but you remember because it sticks out, it stands out. So I made it though, guys. I made it. And if you are going through growing up without your mom or without your mom and your dad, and really none of your family members, adult family members, is stepping up, the universe will take care of you. I found that there is so much compassion. This is just how I see it, guys, from the universe for motherless children. I just see it that way. And that's how I felt. If I didn't get any love from anywhere else, there was a higher power somewhere that was showing and supporting me and guiding me and protecting me. And at the time, I wasn't sure what it was. Like I say, eventually I realized my mother's spirit was there. But there was something even bigger. I understand it very well now with where I am in my rise, but at the time I didn't really understand it. But I just want you to know that you can do it. You can make it. You will make it. You will. Look at me. So guys, I just wanted to come on and do this little video. I've been wanting to come on and talk about growing up without a mother, and I want you to see my face and know that I was in your shoes. Some of you, those of you that can relate and have that experience, and I just want you to see me and know that if I can make it, you can too. And if I made it, you will too. And if nothing else, but to give you the strength to be in touch with someone who has walked in your shoes. So I have empathy for you. Not only sympathy, but empathy. Meaning I have walked in your shoes. So you can do it, guys. If there is anyone out there that that could use this video, I ask that you guys please forward it to them. And I know there's always someone out there that needs what we have. I tell you guys all the time. There's always someone out there that needs what we have. So please help a sister out and help me help somebody. Because we're a family. We're a family of actually one unit. So that's how we supposed to move. So get this video in their hands if you know someone that can use it, because I want them to be empowered. I'm not going to stay on, as I always say. I have a 5:00 appointment and I have to prepare for that. But I hope someone can use this message and use this information, and it will bless their life, because that's what it's intended to do. Thank you so much for coming on, for taking the time to come on and listen to this message. And I appreciate you so much for staying for the entire message. I appreciate it very, very much. I'm going to sign out now. I'm going to say Assalamu alaikum to you. Shalom. Namaste. Ashe. Ashe. and Ashe. And as I always say, like the video, because when you like it, others can see it. Share it so that more can see it. Click the notification bell if there's anything that I say resonates with you, so that you can continue to get the content. And I appreciate you so very much for that. I love you immensely. As I always say, keep your chin up, get some sun, and hug somebody, guys. There's always somebody out here that needs a hug. I appreciate you so very much. I'm going to say peace be within you. And until next time, bye-bye.